Welcome to Oulton Park. We are in Cheshire, England for round number 7 of the Fresno SCCA Sim Racing. I'm Chris Murphy here with my good friend Chris Limon. I said that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah, you did it fine.
Oh, oh my goodness, I'm terrible. But we are here for week 7. Week 7, but round 14, since the SCCA club, they use the qualifying as a session at the same and the race event. So we're going to have 2 different events going on here tonight. We're about 55 seconds away from qualifying. So Chris, welcome to the SCCA club. Happy to have you here with us tonight.
Well, you know, a little bit of fun out here as I now get my road fix in the booth, sounds like, for the week, you know, hanging out at Oulton Park, enjoying a place that I cut a lot of curb in the GR86, running around in my little, you know, production cup time. But happy to be here, excited to see what the Mazdas do here tonight.
Well, as we've seen over the weeks, over the months, the last 7 months here with the SCCA club, always put on a good battle. Let's take a look here at our current point standings coming tonight. We're going to get qualifying started here in just a moment. But coming into the night, Bryce Dickman with a 7-point lead over Alexander Neufeld. Now, Neufeld's not been here for the last few races, but he was pretty dominant early on in the season, picked up 5 wins. But Bryce right now out in front. He's been Mr. Consistent with the podium finishes. Paul Newton back there in 3rd. Marcus Powell 4th. Marcus was clean sweep last time out at Sonoma. Won the qualifying event and then won the 25-lap race session. Tyler King back there in 5th. Juan Castillo 6th. James Carruthers, Trevor Fetchner, and Jason Trantham. I haven't seen Jason for a little while either. And then everybody else on back, all tied for 10th with no points scored on the season. But we've got a good field here tonight. We've got 10 cars for the Mazda MX-5 series. We're getting qualifying underway right now. Let's see who's going to be the first driver to make their way out onto the speedway.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a bit of a fun time tonight. I think I'm excited to see how they all qualify and they all do. As you know, we were talking about a little bit earlier, I saw the familiar face of Bryce Dickman's name coming across my heads-up display as I got to cover him my last time I was in the booth with you. So I'll see what translates, you know, oval to road as we get started here.
So we're taking a look here at Juan Castillo. Juan Castillo won the first one out on the racetrack, and here is Paul Jackson also making his way onto the racetrack for his first lap. Marcus Powell, as we said, last event winner about a month ago now at this point. Marcus Powell was been pretty dominant. The race before that, he was also running up front, but made a few mistakes. Ended up finishing in 2nd in that race, but right now he's looking really strong. Marcus Powell's been coming on strong the last few weeks, but right now we're taking a look at the number 9 at Castillo on the racetrack here to start, and let's see what kind of lap Castillo can put in.
When I'm taking a look right now, I was just a little curious, so I checked to see track temps only about 80 degrees. Both the MX-5s and out here on this track, that should be really nice to get around going. Air temp 68 out here, clearing a little bit of humidity. Should be some good runs for these guys. Digging deep, especially without the Britons. They'll get a great amount of speed going down Hilltop into turn 10 and 11.
Yeah, and we were talking about that without Britons earlier. It takes about 3 corners out of the racetrack, so it adds up to the speed down Hilltop. As we see Castillo now out here on the speedway, making his way around up into turns 13 and 14 right now. Actually, no, making his way around the last corner, coming around turn 16. He will come across the line here to complete his first lap. Let's see what Castillo can put up on the board. He is going to set the standard right now, as he's going to be the first driver across the line to complete a lap. And I got all excited, but he's just starting his hot lap. That was just his out lap.
I was about to say I'm keeping an eye on the laps to see how they're doing as we come across out here. You know, really excited, get some heat in the tires, some warmth. You're seeing them riding those curbs as they're going around. Using this whole track is kind of the fun part of Oulton Park, nice and big. Oh, yep, here's getting some heat in the tires, as I had mentioned, as he comes around, sliding all over.
Marcus out there warming the tires that they're on the 404. So a few drivers out there on the racetrack right now. I'm actually surprised we don't have more drivers out. I can't remember what the laps are. I think they only get 4 laps on the racetrack, so you get some drivers out there really. And it would be nice. The reality, if this was a real racetrack, you kind of want to be one of the last cars out there, get some rubber on the track, get some grip on the racetrack, but I don't really know if that's going to make a difference here on the sim.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see an open qualifying like this, especially in a league. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it. As you were telling me a little earlier, seeing the SCCA club's version of that, really make qualifying count just as much as the race in a really great way. So you don't have some of the hiccups that sometimes I feel, some of the other leagues might end up in, where qualifying's just an event you do. But we got Paul Jackson out here coming down. Good speed as he's going. Looks like my track map is flipped on my computer, which is great. It looks like going around. Yeah, coming up on turn 13 down Clay Hill here. That's my bad. Good to know they have it inverted on this one. Let me grab that real quick.
This is when I want to get over onto the other side of the Atlantic, or other side of the pond, as they call it. This is when I'm looking for my friend Alex Goldschmidt. He knows all these tracks on like the back of his hand. He can tell you every single corner, every single bump, every single curb. But for us, we're just going to have fun with it tonight. As Castillo's going to be the first one across the line at a 1:52.447. That right now is going to be fast time. Juan Castillo first across the line. Let's see who else is going to be out here getting their first lap. I see Paul Jackson looks to be making his way around the speedway. Where is he at right now on the racetrack? So he is just now starting his first lap. Actually, Jackson completes his first lap, but he goes second at a 1:54 flat, or a 9:95 if I break it down to the thousands.
Yeah, now you said out here you said 4 laps, you think, for them to set it? Oh, and here we go, Marcus Powell with a 1:52.22, putting him on pole for the moment.
Yeah, and Castillo right there with him, only a couple tenths back right now, so a good lap there from Powell, but a really good lap there from Castillo. First lap out, he's got himself into second. Next car across the line. Let's see who. I'm looking at Paul Newton. Is Paul sharing the webcam with us, or with us down in the bottom right-hand corner? You can see Paul out on the racetrack. It looks like he is coming around the last couple of corners. Let's see if he gets his first lap in. Also on the racetrack. Go ahead.
Definitely appreciate, the camera there too of Paul, because you can see just the amount of work that it takes to keep the Mazda on the track in some of these corners. This is one slippery car, especially on a track like Oulton Park, so you can see a little bit of the work going in those arm swings there.
Yeah, and it's surprising just how much driving it takes on these, because they are lacking in horsepower, but they will turn around on you in a hurry. The little bit that I've raced them has not been pretty, and I can attest for that. But the key here tonight at Oulton Park is just keeping up momentum. There's so many long straightaways here to build up speed in these Mazda MX-5s, and if you can keep up the momentum through the corners, that is going to be key. It's going to put you out in front. So we're going to watch Newton right here, Team Skittles number 27. Let's see where he is going to come across for his first lap, as he is making his way right now up around Shells. That's Tyler King we're looking at. Actually, Newton as well right there, making his way through Shells. All right, anybody else coming across for their first lap? Maybe Audrey Tan here. The other Team Skittles car, the 027. She comes off the final corner.
Yeah, it looks like I can't find all of them, but the other fun part about Oulton Park is, as we saw with some of the past, and I'm sure we'll see it with Audrey here, is it's not necessarily an abuse of the curbs, but the off tracks on some of these areas, right there, Bryce Dickman kind of playing with them, is that track limit's really fun on this spot. You can do some good slides, you can dig deep around these corners, you can really send it through them. Some of the other road courses along the circuits, for anybody who does road racing around iRacing and around the sim, are fully aware. Some of the tracks just are a lot less forgiving, and this one's definitely not one of them. Really a beautiful track to run around on.
Yeah, one of the favorites from just about all the road course racers. But right now, Bryce Dickman, not one of his better laps on his first lap at a 54.4. He is about 2 seconds off the pole pace right there. Our Angels Camp, California driver. Let's see if he can get a better lap on his second lap, as we are keeping an eye on the racetrack. Marcus Powell, looks like he's got his second lap and did not improve. Paul Newton with a better lap. Moves up to a 52.299, so just about 0.07 of a second off of the pole. He's going to go wide right there off of corner number 2. But right now, Marcus Powell still out in front, looking to back up his fast time and race win from last event at Sonoma. So let's keep an eye on Powell. We've still got a few drivers have not made a lap. Carruthers has not got a lap in. Audrey Tan has not completed a lap. She's on her second lap. So I would only have to assume that her first lap, she must have had an off track somewhere that canceled the lap.
And again, that's definitely the difficult side of that threshold of how far off track or how hard are you sending it through some of these turns to try to squeeze those tenths and those thousandths out when you have a field that's as competitive. Where do you run the risk, and do you do it now? Do you do it in the race, and what does that look like?
And Audrey
And it
gets
looks
a
like
lap.
Bryce Dickman.
Yeah.
Bryce Dickman has put up a 150-128.
Bryce Dickman across the line knocks a second off the pole. A 5, like you said, the first driver into the 51s at a 51.277 knocks Marcus Powell down to second, and Bryce Dickman just jumps to the pit and he says, "That's what I got, boys. Go out and beat that." And gals, we got Audrey here too, so guys and gals. But Audrey,
what a great showing from him there.
Yeah, and Audrey to get a lap in at a 55.54. James Carruthers also able to get his first lap in at a 52.9, puts him down into 5th. But Dickman's going to make his way back out onto the speedway, out onto the circuit, I guess we would call it here at Oulton Park. He's got to better his lap. Right now, I'm really surprised Marcus Powell came out swinging, put up the fast time at a 52.2, and has not been able to improve on that yet. He's ran a couple of laps. He's got 1 lap left, I believe, to put down a good time here, and he's still hanging on to that 52.2. And as we look at that, we got Paul Newton going to get himself into the 51s.
Well, and now we've got, let's see, it looks like Trevor Fetchner and Jared Vaughtner still sitting around. It looks like both of them are on track now, and we're still missing Juven Lott for this qualifying tonight.
Yeah, a couple new names. Vaughtner's a new name. Lott also a new name I've not recognized before. So good strong field of 11 cars here tonight. One of our largest fields we've had for the SCCA Fresno Sim Racing Mazda MX-5 series. So let's see here. Marcus Powell getting his last lap in. Where is he at on the racetrack right now? So he's coming off the final corner up to the start-finish line. Let's see if he can improve on that 52.2. The 404 will come across the line. And I'm watching his lap times right now up on the board, and I don't see... Did not see an official time posted. Maybe that was another outlap for him, so we'll just have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it must be. Once he went down Avenue, I knew that we, definitely didn't have one from him just yet, so we'll have to see what goes on. So we're picking up now to Tyler King as he heads on out. King put up a 154.62 with his last lap, so we'll see how he comes around the line this time.
Yeah, so me and Tyler have a little thing going. So Tyler is a Oregon State Beaver fan, as you can see on the race car. Beaver State Racing for Tyler King. I'm an Oregon Duck fan, so I think I'm gonna have to have a bet here sometime with Tyler over something and make him paint that car green and yellow and put a big O on it at one point.
I completely understand. I mean, sounds like, going into November is going to be a really interesting time for you and Tyler.
And Carruthers going to lose it. Carruthers going to go around trying to better his lap time, and backs it into you saw the kind of delayed crimple on the back on the boot, as they would call it over in England. The boot of the car kind of tore up right there. But Bryce Dickman out here trying to get another lap in to see if he can move himself a little further away from the field. But Marcus Powell out on the racetrack here. Last lap, he's got a couple more corners left to go here as he makes his way down Clay Hill into Druids. Actually, he's making his way around Lodge now. I got to get my maps switched around. I'm looking at two different maps. My maps are both, like, one's situated one way, one the other way.
Yeah, I definitely our lovely, lovely map.
He's going to get up on that lap.
Oh, yeah.
He just gave
lovely
up
map
on
from
it.
Garage 61 helped me out, and yeah, Marcus Powell gives up.
So right now, Bryce Dickman looking to bring home another pole and another fast time. So let's see, he's going to come across the line here again to put another lap in. 51.28 was his best. And this time by would be a little slower to 52.05. But it looks like that 51.277 is going to be good enough to take the poles. I don't see Powell on the racetrack, but we do have Paul Newton coming around for another lap. Paul now making his way around down, Warwick Bridge, up into Lodge. So he's going to make his way, make this hard right corner down and off of Lodge. He'll come down to the final. What do they call that? They call it Deer Leap. to the start finish line.
Yeah, Deer Leap right before Old Hall Corner.
It's just so easier to call NASCAR races when it's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and Newton gives up on his lap as well, so that may just do it right there. We got Trevor Fetchner still out on the racetrack. Jared Faulkner finally makes his way out on the speedway.
Yeah, and it looks like Trevor Fetchner is finishing up his last lap of the 4 as Jared takes it. So Jared might just have the track to himself for a little while. Well, except Bryce, I guess, finishing up his as well.
Yeah, so Fetchner making his way up, looking for the deer on the deer leap up across the line. So let's see what kind of time Fetchner can do. He's going to improve his lap time, goes to a 53.2, move himself up to 6th. So a good lap for the Fresno, California driver. Trevor Fetchner moves himself up into the 6th spot here. But the sole driver out on the racetrack now is Vaughter. And actually Dickman's going to get back onto the circuit. And he still got the Skittles. So they had you weren't here for the last race, but they did it. It was the Skittles Grand Prix. So whoever had the best Skittles paint job won a bunch of free Skittles. And Bryce won that kind of by default, but he still had the better Skittles paint job. So
definitely a fun one for sure. Noticeable, iconic, easy to spot on a track spotter guide. I'm not going to complain sitting up in a booth looking for it.
I would still complain, but
Are you a Skittles man or an M&M's man?
I unfortunately I'm a little of everything, so that's kind of my problem.
I see.
Some Skittles, some M&M's. All right,
I am and have always been a Skittles tropical flavored.
Oh, there you go. My big vice is the Soda Shop jelly beans, the Jelly Bellies.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, that looks like it's going to wrap up qualifying here as we wind down to our 5-minute warm up, and it looks like our pole sitter is going to be Bryce Dickman, as I lost all my qualifying time, so we're just going to pull this up here real quick. So Bryce Dickman with fast time at a 51.278. Paul Newton right there behind him, Marcus Powell. So Bryce adds to his points lead right now. Juan Castillo in 4th, James Carruthers 5th, Trevor Fetchner comes home in 6th here. Tyler King, Paul Jackson, Audrey Tan in 9th. Yvonne Lott, I'm going to say Yvonne, or I'm just guessing here, is going to be 10th, and Jared Vaughter will be 11th. Neither one of the last two there were able to get a lap time in. But we see it looks like Lott out on the speedway getting some practice laps in. So that is going to be our lineup for qualifying. We've got about 4 minutes to go in this warm up. So I think we're going to take a quick break. So we're going to come back to you here in about 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to get underway here for the round number 7, week 7, round 14. There we go. Of the SCCA Sim Racing Fresno. I always say it wrong. The Fresno chapter of the SCCA Sim Racing. Here with the Mazda MX-5, I'm Chris Murphy here with Chris Lohman. We're going to be right back.
You asked for more, so we built more. Every overlay done. Cleaner, faster, built for racers, and built for streamers. But that was just the warm-up. Introducing the AI Chief Streamer Engine, a full broadcast-style control tower, built right into Chief. One unified chat window, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. Every message all in one place. Someone drops a gift, Chief tells you. Front row Joey dropped the DJ spin. This is a race car, not a charity, but we'll take your money anyway. New follower? Chief tells you. Raid member super chat? Chief's already on it. Too busy battling for the lead to read chat? Don't worry, I'll read it for you. Signature Esports says, I know I said something about it on stream, but it would be cool to use Chief to be a pit reporter. This isn't another overlay package. This is your production crew. AI Chief Pro Plus. Coming soon.
The Collateral Damage Sports Network overlays can take your broadcast to the next level. Whether you want to kick off the show with our all-new infographics or wrap it up with our Race Results 2.0 with podium and superlatives. In the race, dive in to see who got on and off pit road the fastest, and then use our head-to-head plug-in package to know exactly when your driver will catch the leader. For your onboard cameras, you've got to have the tower telemetry. Then for the rest of your broadcast, keep up with all the action with alerts for penalties, off tracks, and other events, stage break grids, alternative leaderboards, special event plugins like the Indy 500 qualifying, and a ton more to keep up with all your favorite drivers from start to finish, from country to country, and pull your standings directly from SimRacer Hub. Join all of our elite broadcasting partners and find your next broadcast upgrade at collateraldamagesportsnetwork.com.
All right, we're back live here with Chris Murphy and Chris Lohman here, the Fresno SCCA Sim Racing Mazda MX-5 series. We got a little bit of warm-up session left here to go, about 50 seconds. So we're taking a look here at the 9 of Juan Castillo out there getting some practice laps in. Well, we spent 15 minutes watching qualifying, Chris. What's your expectations here for the race? Who's your pick for today's 25-minute race? Man, I am just all over the place tonight. It's a 25-minute race here at Oulton Park.
All right. Well, I mean, I want to say Bryce Dickman just because of the fact that I've seen him race at Indy, now seen him do some crazy times at qualifying. But I think I'm going to go with Paul Newton.
Paul looking to get a victory. Yeah, Paul hasn't picked up a win in a little while. He is due for a win. He's always been fast. He's always been up in the front, up in the podium spots here for the last few weeks. Yeah, I kind of like your pick there with Paul. You know, I'm kind of with you. Bryce has been looking really strong on these road courses, whether it's in the Mazdas or in the. Actually, we've seen him in the trucks and the Xfinity cars as well. But he's been looking pretty strong. But Marcus Powell has been quick during the races, and I think it's going to come down to one of those three right now. It's going to be Paul, Marcus, or Bryce right there together. So it's going to be an exciting race. That's about what we've seen for the last couple of events out. It was really tight at Sonoma, and I'm expecting the same thing here as we are getting ourselves up to the line here for grid. And looks like we're going to have a short grid, so we're going to have to get started on it here pretty quickly. So let's just go ahead and get our starting lineup of our 11 drivers taking the green flag here at Oulton Park. So on the pole, in the number 14, it is Bryce Dickman. His outside, the 27. Team Skittles, number 27, of Paul Newton. Back to row number 2. It's Marcus Powell in the 404, and Juan Castillo is going to start to his outside there in 4th. Row number 3 is James Carruthers in the 83, and Trevor Fetchner. And then I'm going to let you take the rest there, Chris.
Sure, in P7, we've got Tyler King, and in P8, we have Paul Jackson. P9 is going to be Audrey Tan, and P10 is going to be Juven Lott. And taking up the back of the pack, P11 is Jared Vodner.
So good, quick field here of 11 drivers. We're going to see lots of action out here on the racetrack here. See, we're running about, what were our lap times? 1:20s. We got 25 minutes, so I'm thinking we're going to see probably about 15 or 16 laps roughly, if my math is wrong, which it probably is. But we're just going to make a couple of corners, a short grid lap here as they make their way through Druids right now, down through Warwick Bridge, come off a lodge, and then we will come across start-finish line to start our 25-minute race. I keep saying laps. I've been calling too many NASCAR events.
Yeah, well, that'll happen to you, especially when, you got the craft you enjoy, the craft you follow the most. And then, of course, you have these fun races here and there, as we've talked about at our last time I was in the booth with you, is that I'm the other way around, where this is my bread and butter out here.
Well, I see we got a few people up there in the chat or in their live viewing tonight. Let us know who you're rooting for out there. And it looks like we got Kirsten up there, right? She's rooting for Bryce. We're going to come off the final corner, across start finish line. Bryce Dickman will bring us to the line. Green flag in the air. Newton's going to get a good jump. He's going to come up along the outside of Dickman. Can he get down in front of him? Make her way around turn number 1. Newton with the lead. Dickman right there behind him. Powell in 3rd. And here comes Castillo up to 4th.
Well, you know, this is where this gets really interesting, is when we start to get into the backside of the track around here. You start to get up near Shell Oil, heading down to Folston's. As a reminder, we don't have Britton's, which means high speed down to Hilltop and then Knickerbrook. Those areas going to be some pretty strong braking. Mistakes can definitely get punished here, especially if you don't anticipate the speed that you're going to be getting.
And our top 3 already getting, a little contact right there from Pally, gets into the backup. Dickman slight backs out. That's going to cost him a lot of momentum right there out of Shells, and that's going to allow Castillo to get around the outside of Marcus Powell. So Marcus Powell had to get out of the throttle to avoid heavy contact with the back of Bryce Dickman, and that's going to cost him a spot. And Tyler King right there with him as well. So Powell's got some work to do if he's going to get back up and battle for the lead. But right now it is Paul Newton out in front as they make their way through Knickerbock up to Clay Hill. Newton, Dickman, Castillo, now your top 3.
Yeah, and you can see the beauty of this track right here on this great lineup, where there really is maybe 1-2 strong lines to take across Oulton Park, especially through the backside, getting into Druids, Lodge, and then Deerleaf back around the front. So you're going to see a lot of cars streamline fighting, staying consistent, and the minute someone gets offline, they're going to shut the door on them and punch right by, as we have Newton up in the front still, with Dickman and Castillo in 2nd and 3rd. Powell bringing up 4th for our top 4 tonight.
And Castillo, a nice move to get around Powell, take advantage of that mistake early. He gets up to 3rd. Watch Marcus Powell. He is not going to give up easily. I expect the 404 to put some pressure on Castillo here in short time right now, as you can already see him closing back in on the back of the 9. We look off the nose of Marcus Powell up to Castillo as they make their way around Cascades. They're going to head down Lakeside, down to Island Bend, into Shell's Corner.
And this is such a fun camera right here, because I don't, you know, for our viewers, you probably hear it just a little bit, but you have some really strong amount of tire wear. They're really pushing these MX-5s to the limit as they come around these turns, coming up over here, Island Bend into Shell Oil.
Round goes Powell with a mistake. He's going to get loose, get into the corner. Heavy contact with the guardrail. Marcus Powell, we have seen this a few times this season. He's had really good pace, but unfortunately makes a mistake getting into the corner, getting down into Shell Oil, and it looks like Marcus Powell's run here tonight may be over with. Let's take a quick look at that here real fast and see what happened here with Marcus. I still got the Skills Grand Prix replay on there, but let's take a look right here. So Castillo right here, Powell coming down in the corner, and I think Powell just gets on the brakes a little hard. Let's just take a look here. What do you see here, Chris?
Yeah, it looks like that little bit of air in the car, sometimes it's all it takes. You upset the front end of the MX-5, and then she'll just get away from you a little too quickly. Probably going to take the hard left here. Right tire's going to get loose there, and that's going to send him around.
Yeah, I think it all started when he got off the corner before, right there, off the curb into the grass, and that just carried his momentum off track right there. And like you said, just got that right rear off into the grass, and around he's going to go. So Marcus Powell looks to be down in the pits right now, trying to get some repairs. So we got a 2-car battle, actually 3-car battle. Castillo hanging on up there. Newton, Dickman, and Castillo, your top 3. And then it's a ways back, about 4.5 seconds back to Trevor Fetchner. But Trevor's nice enough to share his in-car camera with us, so we can see Trevor. He's got the nice set of triples there, and he's got the little bezel hiders there in the corner. Bevel, is it bezel or bevel? I don't remember which one.
Honestly, not entirely sure, but I think I saw it. Does Trevor also have a stick shift?
Yeah, he does have H-pad. Most of these guys do. And look at Dickman alongside of Newton. Dickman goes back to the front. Here comes Castillo trying to follow him through. They're going to head up into Shells. Dickman on the outside, Newton on the bottom. They're still side by side. Let's see who's got the advantage up Hilltop right now. It looks like Dickman's got the momentum off that outside line. Here comes Castillo challenging Newton for second. We have got a battle up front. Bryce Dickman back around Paul Newton. We're going to head up into Hislop. Hislop and then Knickerbrook. I don't remember these names.
Hilltop and then Knickerbrook. We'll get you there. We got some time. We got about 20 minutes to get you on board. Don't worry about it.
So Dickman's going to take the lead over Paul Newton. Castillo tried to follow him through. He's going to have to settle back into third. It's a little ways back to Fechner. Let's take a look at this battle going on back here between Trevor Fechner and Tyler King. This is for 4th and 5th. Give Tyler King a little screen time. He is all over the back bumper of Fechner right here. Going to take a look to the inside. Does he have the pace? Does not able to get up alongside of Fechner for 4th. A little further back, Paul Jackson in 6th. Here's Votner in 7th. Audrey Tan right there. Yvonne Lott. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know if it's right or not. James Carruthers back in 10th. But your leader, the pole sitter, Bryce Dickman, looking to take a sweep. And here comes Paul Newton. He is still right there. He is not giving up.
Yeah, and Dickman is just barely off of his qualifying pace. I mean, we're talking tenths, his best time so far with a 1:51.69. You know, that's really what shows some of the racecraft of some of these guys, especially when you can tell that they've been around the circuits for a while, is just this impressive run that they can put up and about. So 3 of them are coming down through Lakeside here into Island Bend.
And we saw it right there on the screen. You saw Marcus Powell getting back onto the speedway, staying on the same lap, but he is not far away from our leaders right now. But Marcus Powell not going to have the finish he'd hoped for tonight. But it looks like right now, if it's going to come down between Dickman and Newton, unless somebody makes a mistake. Castillo's starting to fall off the pace a little bit. He's about 2 seconds, second and a half back now at this point. And here comes Paul Newton right now, drafting on Dickman. He's going to take a peek to the outside. Not usually a place you see him move very often, but he's going to have the inside, good side-by-side racing right there, giving each other some space. Newton took a shot, tried to get by Dickman, and he is now going to have another look at the inside, side-by-side, all the way up Clay Hill right now. And Newton's going to have the inside line to get into the next corner.
Well, you know, that's the really hard part about this track, like I said, is going to be consistent through the turns, knowing when and where to push one another. Along with that, the MX-5s and Oulton Park as a combination, you know, we do have a lot of racing left with it just under 20 minutes. This is a demanding track. As much as it's, you know, a favorite of everyone in the road courses, it's a favorite of a lot of the lower horsepower car drivers. I enjoy this place a lot with a GT4 too, and man, this place can beat you up over time. You got to stay consistent and focused, or the track will sneak up on you in the wrong place at the wrong time. We have Dickman in second here, getting Castillo making a pretty strong run up at Dickman as Newton continues to try to put some gap between them.
Yeah, Newton and Dickman battling back and forth allowed Castillo to make up that 1.5 gap that he had fallen back, and he is now right up on the back bumper. Dickman now for second, as Newton puts a little separation now, about half a second between himself and Bryce Dickman, but you can see just how effective the draft is in these cars as Dickman is starting to close back in.
Yeah, and a little further back in the field, you know, I'm looking at that 8-second gap. The hardest part of that's also going to be, you know, between King, Fechner, and Jackson fighting one another, and they got to make sure either, you know, is this the time to settle into your position, link up, and start just trying to draft your way up, clean corners, not trying to fight each other too much, or do you keep battling it out back there and hope for a mistake up front?
Yeah, we take a look at, we were looking at this battle earlier. Tyler King has made his way around Trevor Fechner for that 4th spot. So Tyler with a good run up into 4th. And look at this battle up front. We have seen this for the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks it was Newton, Dickman, and Powell. Now it's Castillo throwing his hat into the ring. Top 3 battle going on there, nose to tail, nobody giving up. It's still anybody's race at this point, as we are just short of 9 minutes into this race with about 16 minutes left to go. Newton, Dickman, Castillo, your top 3.
Yeah, I truly love to see the speed that these cars can carry through. You know, you get, even though, you know, get a little offline, you get into the grass a little. Those small mistakes can get capitalized on by the drivers, but at the same time, these cars will keep the speed. You know, it's nice to see them lined up, driving the course as tight as they can. It's really going to be a battle of who can stay just that slight bit more on the track, that little more on the gas, and that little bit more on the grip. They go around here, Newton, Dickman, and Castillo coming across the line again for, I believe, lap 6.
And Castillo closing in on the back of Bryce Dickman. Dickman able to close up the gap on Newton. He has got a run right here, heading into Cascades. Can he keep up the momentum off the corner here down Lakeside's No, Newton's actually gonna get some separation on him, but he's gonna get off into the grass. That's gonna allow Bryce Dickman to reel him in as they head up into Island Bend, and Bryce Dickman is right there once again. They've swapped the lead already a couple of times. Can Bryce get back out in front of this thing?
What a great angle here to show just the level of driving, the gaps that open and close constantly, as we just really see Dickman not giving Newton an inch, waiting for those tiny moments as, oh, it looks like the move's coming up as Dickman's going to push up through here and going into the next right-hander will most likely take the lead from Newton, possibly coming down the hill here.
Side by side once again into Hislop.
There it goes.
Through the S's right here. Dickman hanging on to the lead right there. Gets around Newton one more time. I think they've swapped the lead about 4 or 5 times now at this point. They head up Clay Hill right now, up into Druids. Dickman now out in front. Newton falls back just a little bit here. So our top three, all within about half of a second of each other, about 3/4 of a second actually. Castillo putting pressure on Newton now for second.
Yeah, we saw that slight lockup from, I believe that was Dickman coming around, but he is just putting down absolute beaters of laps. I believe his best one still is that 150, but he's putting up 150s, 152s across the board, just keeping that lead as best he can.
All right, so we're going to wrap up. We got about, about 13 and a half minutes left to go here in the Fresno SCC Sim Racing round number 7 here at Oulton Park. But we got more action coming your way this week. Friday night, we have the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series from Iowa. We'll be here at 9 o'clock Eastern for that. Also, coming up on Saturday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, with the JWR E-Racing Saturday Night Fever Super Speedway Money Racing. Don't miss that one. That's always a good time. So, more action coming your way this week. If you haven't already subscribed or liked or rang the notification bell or shared with your family and your pets and everybody else, do it now. You don't want to miss any more action coming your way. We got lots more action coming your way this week, and we're back at it next week as well. So, but right now, we're watching Bryce Dickman. Can he hang on to this lead? We're coming up on the halfway point here, Chris. I think Newton's going to pressure him here at least one more time. We've not really seen anybody get out. This is about the biggest lead we've seen so far. But I think Newton's going to reel him back in here with this draft. You can see just how effective it is right there.
Yeah, I don't think Newton's going to give Dickman an inch here, and I think the two of them are going to go for it. I'm also waiting to see maybe a late-stage move from Juan Castillo. Just been hanging out in third, letting the two of them put it out, seeing maybe if one of them get a little loose, get a little too far off track, and maybe that's when he sends it up, trying to pick it up. But, right now, guaranteeing a podium's pretty nice. It's a way I'd love to walk away from any race. We're here with Paul Newton on board, coming around the backside of the track here.
We jump on board here with Paul Newton. They're making their way downward, bridge up into Lodge Corner to complete another lap as we're past the halfway point now. 12 minutes left to go in this 25-minute event. Newton now reeling in Bryce Dickman. He wants to get back out in front of this thing. Paul Newton only knows one spot to be, and that is out in the lead. He does not want to run second, and he is chasing down Bryce Dickman.
Yeah, that's definitely been the fun part as they're going around here, coming back down through Old Hall Corner to the avenue, is just pushing each other as hard as they can. May catch down some lap traffic with Powell up at front eventually. Might see that come into play here a little bit. Does, Powell slip out of the way for him? Does Powell stay on his line and let him get around? But we have Dickman in the front, Newton in second, Castillo still in a comfortable third with, if I am reading that correctly, a 15-second gap to fourth.
Yeah, and out of nowhere, we weren't really paying. We've been watching that battle up in the lead so much. Out of nowhere, Yvonne Lotz now made his way up into fourth. Started back in 10th, did not put in a qualifying lap, and has just made his way through the field. A couple of laps ago, was able to get by Jackson and King. Matter of fact, let's just take a look at that, because it looks like he might have done them both close at the same time. We'll take a look here at Lotz pass around Tyler King here to move up into the fourth spot. And that 10 car's got some pace in it right there. I think if he'd have qualified, he may have been be up in a battle with our podium spot. So it is as fast as he's looking out there on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, and there's definitely some damage, it looks like, on the backside of Tyler King tonight. I wonder when that occurred or what happened there, but definitely some rear end damage. I wonder if that's upsetting Tyler's laps as well.
Yeah, some good action going on there in the middle of the field. As we take a look at Lott right now, up to fourth. Up front, it is still Dickman. It's just, we try to cover everything we can throughout the field, but when you got such a battle going on up front, it's kind of kind of takes your attention away sometimes. And as you talked about a minute ago, you can see just up the road from our leaders is the 404 of Marcus Powell, getting ready to go a lap down as you see him pop on the screen right there. So let's see what Powell does in this situation. Is he just going to pull over and let the leaders go by? We'll find out.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my eye on the intervals. I'd love to see if we do see some more lower down the line, some battles, maybe down for 6, 7, somewhere around there later in the race a little bit. But right now, I mean, it currently has been fairly settled. But again, 10 minutes to go on a track like Oulton Park. It's about 1:50 a lap. So you figure roughly a 2-minute lap. We've only got a couple left to go here.
Yeah, just a few laps left to go for Paul Newton. If he is going to get around Bryce Dickman, he needs to do it now. But Bryce has been looking pretty steady. You're not really seeing too many mistakes right there. And Paul Newton gets into the corner a little deep right there, loses the front of the nose of the car, pushes up the racetrack. That's going to cost him some time. He falls back about 3/4 of a second. And you can see just how costly one mistake is right there. He got in the corner a little deep. The front of the car pushed up out on him right there, and that allowed Dickman to put a little more separation. But here comes Paul Newton right back at him.
Yeah, and the speed at which some of these gaps open up. I mean, we were just talking about Castillo being only a slight bit behind, now holding about a 3-second run to Dickman and Newton now. Looking back farther, we've got Vaughter and Vaughter and Jackson, battling it out. So we're going to go around here.
And Jared Vaughter up 4 spots, also did not qualify, just like Lott. He's trying to make his way up. He's putting pressure on Paul Jackson there for that 6th spot. And if you look at the livery on Paul Jackson, I tried to check this out. You gotta try to have a good camera that really is. It's yay toast. Now, I don't. Most people are probably too young to remember the Hayward Banks song, "Toast." Yeah, toast. I tried to play it last time, and I'm not gonna try to sing it because it would just be horrible. But I just think that's what that's modeled after. I don't know, but it's an old comic song that was played on the radio for a while. So I don't know. I'm just showing my age again. So sorry. Looks like Carruthers Carruthers going to pull down pit road.
Some severe damage there. Front left wheel fully collapsed. I wonder what happened a little ways back.
Let's see if we can find an incident. So we got an incident here with James going off track. We can see if we can see what this is here. Oh, it's already happened at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe this one was it. Yeah, so he takes a look to the outside. That's Fechner right there in front of him. And gets down on the curb. Oh, they make heavy contact right there between himself and Fechner. And there he goes hard into the guardrail. That is going to be some heavy damage there on an 83. So Carruthers has to tow in. So it looks like going to be maybe our first retiree. No, he's going to get back on the racetrack. So Carruthers is going to come back out on to the circuit, get some more laps in. As we look at our battle up front one more time between Dickman and Newton.
And again, it's those kind of small moments that just, you look to the outside, you tried to punish a mistake, tried to push for it, and then these guys are just so competitive no matter where on the track they're sitting or ending up. They're going to race tonight, and just didn't work out for him, it looks like, as Carruthers went off there. But we have Dickman in the front with Newton, 0.3 gap between them. So just going around, I believe, where are we at right now? Yeah.
Coming off of Lodge. Up the Deer Leap across the line right now to start another lap. And right in front of him is Marcus Powell. But the one thing, this was a 3-car battle for a little while. But Juan Castillo has lost the tow rope. He is now 5 seconds back in third, so it's now down to 2 drivers, just down to Bryce Dickman and Paul Newton, and neither one of them giving an inch. Paul all over the back bumper, and I think he's probably looking up at that 404 up there in front of him when they get to him. If you can do it, use that lap car as a pick. So let's see if Paul uses the 404 of Powell as part of his strategy to find a way around the 14 of Bryce Dickman.
Yeah, what a great battle this has been to be watching. Just Bryce and Paul both just going at it around back and forth, trading here and there. But I do agree with what you had said earlier, as we get into these last 5 minutes, looking at 3, maybe 4 laps max, depending on, placement of the track and the timing across the line. But if Paul Newton's going to make his move, it's got to come soon. I don't think an at-the-wire push against a driver like Dickman is going to work out for him.
And we take a look here. Jared Votter's going to make his way around Paul Jackson. He's been working on Jackson for a few laps. He is now going to get around Jackson, move himself up into 5th.
And what a great block there. Just a good hold up of the brakes. That little extra second made him back off. Makes Jackson settle back in behind him. You know, really saying this is my spot and I'm staying here.
And up the road, Yvonne Lott now has set sail. He is now about 7 seconds out in front of Otter, but he is kind of running his own race right now because where are they at? He's about 14 seconds back of Castillo. So it looks like his best chance is 4th. And here comes Newton. Going to take a look to the outside of Dickman one more time. They make their way around the final corner here at Lodge. We've not seen anybody make a pass right there. Newton tried to set it up on the outside, tried to cross him over, but not able to make a move on Dickman. But he has got the draft down the front straightaway.
When you know this is the moment here, possibly, where Newton's trying his best to keep up, but he's also smart enough to back out. As I say that, he pushes him strong through there, trying to look up for that lead, as Newton does slip slightly in front, it would seem, of Bryce Dickman.
Side by side, yeah, and Paul did a great job of pinching. He gave Bryce Dickman room on the bottom, but not a lot of room. Just gave him about a car width, which really made Bryce pinch the car down on the line. Made him he was not able to open up the wheel off the corner. Killed his momentum, and that allowed Paul Newton to get by off the corner. And they are back at it here one more time. So Paul Newton will take the lead here. I need something to keep track of lead changes here, because they have just swapped back and forth. But actually, I have a couple things that show lead changes, but unfortunately, they only show it at the line. And most of these laps have been, most of the lead changes has happened in the middle of a lap somewhere.
Yeah, and it looks like a little farther down the field, looks like Paul Jackson might be trying to make a move on Jared Faulkner coming up soon. He's within 2 tenths. You might get to see a good move there. But unfortunately, as I say that, we once again at the front have this door-to-door racing as Bryce Dickman slides in front, going around Folston's.
And you can just see the respect with these two. I've seen this all season long. Close side-by-side racing. They're giving each other room. I mean, right there, they could have banged doors. Paul Newton moves over to the right to give Bryce room. So just I mean, out of all the leagues that we cover in different things, the one thing over at the SCCA sim racing is some of the cleanest racing you're going to see, and respect for the drivers back and forth. And just side-by-side, I mean, I don't know how many times... in other races, we probably would have seen a couple caution flags, even though we don't have cautions here on the road courses. But you can just see the respect that they have for each other. It just makes it really fun to watch.
Yeah, as they come around here through Deer Leap, back across the line, heading into Old Hall Corner, we're going to see a move, looks like once again from Paul, as he's going to start pushing pretty hard as we come up on the final 2 minutes here. So probably 2 to go, but we'll see.
Yeah, 2 minutes left to go. We're going to come across it. Next lap should be the white flag, so about a lap and a half left to go at this point. Paul Newton has made his way out in front. Bryce Dickman right there. It's not over with yet. Bryce Dickman's got another lap and a half to try to find a way around. Watch for another move. Coming downhill as it coming down hilltop up into Hislops. I don't know, whatever. It's a chicane. Let's put it that way with the tire barriers. But I really expect Bryce to make another move when we get to that point of the racetrack.
Absolutely. I think, as we said, there's a lot of respect here, but at the end of the day, that podium is calling and where you're going to stand on it. So is there that moment that, out of respect, do you back off? Do you push a little harder as we come up here? Dickman just about a 10th under Newton as we come around across. Dickman's going to hold the inside a little tighter there. Really just trying to find it, but you see the defensive move from Newton every once in a while. It's trying to keep him just off the line.
I'm looking back at the results. Paul Newton's last victory came on March 11th at Okayama. But here comes Bryce Dickman back on the bottom of the racetrack. Newton gives him just enough space, but he's able to block off the line right there. Block off the run. A good defensive move there from Newton, but here comes Dickman right back at him. Back to the inside. He's going to try to late break him. Can he hang on to it? Newton with a run off the corner. They're going to come across the line. This will be white flag in the air. One more lap around. Dickman tries to cross him over. White flag. Barney throwing it. Do they call him Barney in the UK? I don't know. We call him Barney over here in the States. I never did figure that one out either. But so one more lap left to go for Paul Newton to pick up his first win in about 5 months here for the SCC Sim Racing.
And it looks like right here, Newton's now opened up to almost a half-second gap to Dickman. If he can hold that, he can pick up a nice podium, get a first win in a couple of months. Feel pretty good, but even if Dickman does slide in front of him, still on the podium, still had a great race, had a really wonderful back and forth battle across this whole thing as our pole setter and leader.
There goes Dickman again. Look to the inside.
Pushing.
I thought he was going to take a late lunge right there. Had to back out of it, just about got into the right rear quarter of Newton. That might have cost him here. He took a shot at it right there, and we've seen him have speed here up hilltop. And I don't think he's going to have that speed here this time, so he's going to have maybe one more shot, maybe down Warwick Bridge. Because right now he has lost a lot of ground here to Newton. But he's going to reel him in right here through the chicane up into Clay Hill. Here comes Bryce Dickman. He's got a couple more shots there. Can he do it?
Absolutely. We're really going to be pushing to the wire now as Dickman's now closed that gap to just about 2/10. Really can just be closed out in a single corner. Maybe one more good push here. Dickman sitting 0.25 back from Newton. Coming down through the final few turns of this race, we're really going to see who's going to decide it here. Looks like Bryce is trying to find his angle, find a move. He's closing that gap just a little bit further, 1/10
He's got the late move
side by side.
He got the late move on the inside right there. Newton tries to block it off, has to give him room. Dickman's there, but I think Newton's going to have the pace up the hill across the line. It's going to be Paul Newton picking up his second win of the season and his first since March 11th. Across the line, it's going to be Paul Newton. Bryce Dickman Castillo comes across in third. Yvonne Lott's going to make his way off the final corner up the front straightaway up to fourth. And then we kind of missed this again. We missed some of the battle back here in the back because Tyler King now made his way to fifth.
And, kind of the sleeper of this race, I think, really is Yvonne Lott. I mean, up 6 positions from beginning. Let's see who else. Jared Vaughtner picked up 5 across the race. The two of them just starting in, I believe it was 10th and 11th, respectively, coming up through the line, finishing about halfway up the grid each, with Yvonne Lott in 4th.
Here comes Audrey coming across the line for a good top tip finish. She'll finish in 8th in the 027 Skittles. Team Skittles car. Trevor Fetchner back here in 9th. Trevor not having a night he would like to remember. He usually has a little better run than that, so Trevor's going to come home in 9th. Marcus Powell, definitely not where he wanted to be tonight. He ended up staying on the lead lap, but he is going to come home in 10th. James Crothers back there in 11th. But look at the 27 of Paul Newton. He is going to pick up the victory here tonight. And just a fantastic race between him and the 14 of Bryce Dickman all night long.
Absolutely masterclass racing tonight from the two of them, really understanding, not just where to drive, but the limits of the car, where you can push it, where you can't. And frankly, just the two of them really just, I think, enjoying their time on the track, because Paul Newton just makes up his own track a little bit here, celebrating.
Was he celebrating there?
I don't know. I saw him just drive through the cones. So,
all right. So let's see if we can find. So Paul's making his way around for his victory lap here. We're gonna see if we can pull Paul up here for his race win interview. Hey, Paul, you got Chris and Chris in the booth. Are you there?
I am here.
How you doing tonight, man? Fantastic drive. That was
great.
That, man, I'll tell you what. We get on here once a month with you guys. I wish you guys ran every single night, to be honest with you, because you might have one of the smallest fields that we cover with only about 9 or 10 cars showing up on a weekly basis. But man, you guys just put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, we really do. Me and Bryce are really evenly matched, I think. So, sorry, crew chief still talking to me. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I can trust him, and I'm pretty sure he trusts me. But we got into it a little bit tonight. We threw some haymakers at each other, I think, but all good in the end. 1-2 finish. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. We got Chris and Chris show here tonight. So I got Chris up in the booth. Chris, you got any questions for Paul?
Questions? No, just, man, watching it, super fun blast, great time to watch, I mean, I'll say it. He was my pick at the beginning of the race, and here we are now, Chris. So I'll take it. Pretty happy with that for you. I think also, like you said, throwing some great haymakers. We were joking about it. Had a little bit of trouble sometimes covering farther down the field, because every time we looked away from you, you guys were right back door to door again, going around.
Yeah, sound like there's some action throughout the pack all night. So excellent, excellent night of racing, and I want to thank the Fresno SCCA for letting us do this. So a lot of fun.
Well, just a fantastic run. Your second victory on the season. It's been a little while since you picked up a win. Bryce and Marcus, and of course, oh, what's the other guy? The other guy's name that hasn't been here in a while.
Alex.
Alex Newfield. So you it's usually coming down to one of you four guys, but it's been a little while since you picked up a win. This has got to feel really good.
Yeah, it does. I really love driving these cars, and it's nice when it all goes right.
Well, congrats on the victory. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to before we get you out of here and get Bryce up here with us?
I say hey to everyone at home. Thanks for watching, and join us if you're in the Fresno SCCA. If you're a past member, or if you want to be a member, join us in this sim racing league and meet us all and have some fun with us. Thanks, guys.
You bet, Paul. Thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you again next time.
Man.
All right, let's see if we can get Bryce up here with us. All right, Bryce Dickman. Bryce, are you there?
Can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you.
All right.
Well, you sat on the pole, man. You were my pick to win the race, but Paul was relentless, man. You guys just put on one heck of a show all night long.
Yeah, I can't even believe it. That's probably the most aggressive I've driven Paul since we've raced together, and he just straight up beat me in the end. I think it was like just a matter of me making one more mistake than he did, and that decided it. That was a really, really good battle. That was an awesome job by Paul.
Well, as I said to Paul, it's just every time we come over on one of these shows, you guys just put on a fantastic race. It's been you, Paul, and Marcus the last few races, but Marcus with a big mistake took himself out of this one. But I don't know if you saw it in the mirror, but first lap right there, I think it was going down into shells. Yeah, he just about ran in the back and got on the brakes real hard, and that pretty much was the start of his demise.
Oh wow. No, I didn't. I don't think I even noticed that. I heard his motor blew up later in the race.
Well,
So-
I mean, it's that coming in here with a points lead. Paul was a little ways back, so you're going to lose little points to him, but you're still pretty secure with the points lead. But it was really just about we got about 3 or 4 weeks left to go in the season. You're looking pretty good to pick up the championship. What do you think your chances are from here on out?
I think they're pretty decent. We actually, since I got first in the qualifying and he got first in the race, we're breaking even this week. So I just maintain my gap, which is really good. I think I'm going to need that gap because, yeah, right now I'm just winning on consistency. I'm just always finishing, second or third. I haven't had super bad luck where I'm missing a race and losing a lot of points. And yeah. So we'll see. I think I just couldn't shake him. I thought this was my one track where I could shake him if I got a gap. And I was a second or, 1.2 seconds ahead, and he still reeled me in. No problem, it seemed like.
Well, I got my buddy Chris Lohman up in the booth with us tonight. Chris, you got any questions for Bryce?
Same as with Paul, not a lot of questions, just some really exciting racing. Same thing I said to Paul. We would hop off and immediately have to come back just because the two of you just put on a stellar show tonight.
Yeah, I felt like I couldn't believe the white flag came out. I thought we still had a long ways to go, but we were just battling out lap after lap after lap. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, we were, we're probably going to have some people in the middle of the pack be like, hey, how come you didn't show us at all tonight? It's like, no, we just couldn't get off the lead. It was, we usually try to get through the whole field, but like Chris said, man, you guys were just putting on a hell of a show up there. But before we get you out of here, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. Sorry to everybody else.
Oh, man, but before we get you out of here, I know we're going to see you again next Tuesday night, but to anybody you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, thanks to Paul and all you guys for putting this on, and thanks for broadcasting this. This has been a ton of fun. I don't know if they told you, but I'm kind of close to one of the big wildfires in California right now, so I've been out of power and had my rig packed up in my car for the last 2 days, and I got it, unpacked and set up about 10 minutes before this race. So probably should thank all the firefighters for protecting our stuff because we got pretty close here, and yeah, it was a pretty scary couple days. So I'm glad I'm just sitting here having fun right now.
Wish you the best down there, brother. Hope everything gets cleared up. I know I live up just north of you a little ways, and we're got kind of the same stuff going on. Nothing that close to me or not, but yeah, firefighters out there doing a hell of a job just trying to get everything wrapped up. But man, I'm glad to hear you're okay so far.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get you out of here. We'll get Juan up here, but we're gonna talk to you next week, I'm sure, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get Juan. Juan Castillo, you have Chris and Chris in the booth. Are you there? Fantastic run tonight, man. I thought you had a shot at it. You were right there with Bryce and Paul for a little while, but then you kind of fell off a little bit. Kind of tell us how it was from the seat of the number 9 tonight.
I thought so too, but looks like they just had an extra gear up there. Didn't get to them.
I got you cranked way up here, so you're a little quiet on my end. But yeah, I mean, I thought, like I said, you looked good right there. Good podium finish for you tonight. I think it's one of you haven't had too many podium finishes in the league, so good to see you up here with us tonight for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and I'm having a hard time with the audio here, so we're gonna go and get you out of here, Brad. But we're gonna give you a chance to give any thanks to anybody if you got anybody you want to thank out there for help getting it done out there tonight.
Shout out to my wife for today.
All right, brother. Well, good luck next time. We're going to see you at September 2nd at the mystery track. We don't know where it's going to be, so we'll see you in about 4 weeks.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Have a good one. All right. Well, Chris, your first SCCA Fresno Mazda MX-5 race. What do you think?
Absolute blast of a time. Saw some great battles up and down. Small thing that's actually being highlighted right now was even seeing, Powell back out on the track. I was curious how this league takes, early wrecks and things. And I'm glad to see, no matter where you're at on the track, get out, do some driving, and have a good time with the league that you're a part of. Always a great time to see that kind of thing. And it's good to know that the SCCA from Fresno is doing the same.
So let's go ahead and take a look at our full results before we get out of here. Paul Newton bringing home his second win on the season, race win anyway. Bryce Dickman second, Juan Castillo in the third, Yvonne Lott in fourth. And if I'm not saying your name right, just send me a message. We'll get it corrected out. Tyler King in fifth, Jared Vaughter sixth, Paul Jackson seventh, Audrey Tan in the eighth spot, Trevor Fechner ninth, Marcus Powell rounds out our top 10 after, as Bryce said, blew up the motor in the number 404, but he comes home in 10th. James Carruthers in 11th. Hard charge of the race was Lott, up 6 spots after not qualifying. Most laps led was Dickman. He led 8 laps out of the 15 that we completed. Paul Newton had the fastest lap at a 51.508, only about 0.3 of a second off the qualifying pace. And Paul and Bryce sat on the pole. So we're going to go and get ourselves out of here for the night. Don't forget, we're back Friday night with a Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series from Iowa. Saturday night, we're here for the JWR E-Racing Saturday Night Fever Money Racing. So we're going to get ourselves out of here for the night. So for all of us here at DRSN, for myself and for Chris Lohman, I want to say thank you so much for taking your time to spend the evening with us. And we're going to see you next time. Good night.